Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you guys how to make one of my childhood favorites, which is donuts from biscuits. Now I know you guys have probably did this. This is like a super old school thing that people have been doing for so long. But whenever I do this, it really reminds me of like summers growing up because you'd be bored at the house trying to just make yourself a little snack. You go in that fridge and you find some biscuits. And then, baby, you just start doing stuff, okay? And my mama wasn't the type to keep me out the kitchen. She kind of just let me do whatever I wanted to do. And so I'm going to show you guys how I do it and also how I make like at least 3 different, well, almost 4 different flavors, okay? So I have these buttery biscuits, the flaky kind. That's my favorite type to use. And I have like the world's smallest biscuit cutter. You can actually use this biscuit cutter to make mini biscuits, but in this case, I'm going to use it to punch a hole out of the middle of my donuts. You're going to have the donut hole, and then of course you're going to have the regular donut. If you don't have a little biscuit cutter, I think you could also use an apple corer. Or you don't even have to have a traditional donut shape because they all pretty much taste the exact same. It's all just for fun. So something else you can do is to stretch out your biscuit lightly. Don't press it too much because you don't want the dough to come out chewy or dense. Just give it a nice gentle stretch and then cut it into 3 strips. You could technically cut it into 2 strips and then intertwine them. However, I feel like that makes the donut just a little bit too bulky. So I think 3 strips is the best. So when I do this method, I actually will cut 2 of the biscuits into 3 slices so that I can have an even number of strips. And I'll end up making 3 of these twisted donuts. Let me know in the comments if you have ever made donuts like this before. Honey, I feel like you just take some biscuits and you can do a lot of things with them. A little fried biscuit, baby, ain't hurt nobody. Okay, so let me know if you've tried this technique before and what flavors are your favorite. Now, if you don't want to do any of this and you say this too much, okay, baby, you just take that biscuit and you just cut it into 4 pieces and then you just gonna have 4 donut holes. Okay, that's keeping it simple. So you can do that as well. If you do not want to cook all of your biscuits, like me, I only wanted to make 6 of them, then you can add your remaining biscuits to some parchment paper, stick them in the freezer, and then once they are frozen, just put them in a freezer bag, and you can make those in the oven just in the morning as regular biscuits whenever you are ready. The icing is super simple, and y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I didn't measure. Do you need measurements really for powdered sugar, vanilla, and milk? All you're doing is making a glaze. Now, I will try to put some estimated measurements for you in the description box, but truthfully, I just add a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of milk into a plate, and I mix it together until it has a loose glaze consistency. I will show you guys how I take this glaze and also make it into a chocolate flavor, but you could also do an almond or lemon flavor as well. My next favorite flavor that I love to make is just a very simple cinnamon sugar. I just add about a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. I am going to heat some oil in a stainless steel pot over a medium heat. Your oil needs to be hot enough so that when you stick a chopstick in it, it immediately starts to bubble. That should be about 350 degrees. I always make a tester donut before I do the whole batch because, baby, there ain't nothing worse than throwing in all your batter and then your donuts are like brown on the outside but raw on the inside because your oil is too hot. Oh my goodness, I just hate when that happens. And so once I made my little tester, I dipped it in some cinnamon sugar. And honey, that thing was tasting like Captain Crunch. Y'all, it was so good. The trick to getting these donuts right is to make sure that the inside of the donut cooks well before the outside gets burned. They literally cook so fast and they brown really fast as well. And so my technique is to be continuously moving the donuts like over and over and over again, like flipping them all the time so that it cooks evenly. I find that if I let it rest on one side too long, even a few seconds too long, it starts to get really brown and then the other side just isn't cooked enough. And so I just use either a frying spoon or my chopsticks to continuously rotate them. You need to be especially mindful of those little donut holes because they will start puffing up quick and then sometimes become hard to flip to the other side. So you definitely want to make sure that you start flipping those early. I find that within a minute and a half, the donuts are ready. If you want, you could eat a few of them just like this. It would just be a delicious fried bread. However, I am going to first glaze mine with the vanilla glaze. Another good option would to be to add some almond extract. Oh my goodness, that is so good. If this glaze is too thick for you, honey, don't worry about it. Just add a little bit more milk and you're going to have a thinner glaze. Another option is to add some lemon extract. However, if you want to do that, then I would either, only do vanilla and lemon or separate the part that you want to add the lemon extract to because I am going to add some cocoa powder to make this a chocolate glaze and lemon and chocolate just do not mix. However, the almond and the chocolate will go together really well. Add in about half of a tablespoon of your favorite cocoa powder, mix this in, and now you'll have a easy chocolate glaze. If you are feeling bougie, all right, you go in and add some sprinkles on top of your donuts after you have glazed them, and that would be so cute. On the side, I have a baking rack on top of a cookie sheet, and I am just using that to let any excess glaze drip down. The next donuts I'm going to do is my cinnamon sugar ones. Again, these are my favorite because they have that Captain Crunch taste, but y'all, I am also going to show you guys how you can do a jelly filled donut if you just want some super big bakery. Y'all, you could pipe the jelly into the donut. But see, as a kid, I didn't have those resources, okay? So all I did was split open the donut and then add a little bit of jelly to the middle and you get the same effect. I'm adding a raspberry jelly. Y'all, if you like a jelly filled donut biscuit situation, so good. So good, y'all. And you actually don't even have to glaze it if you want the jelly. It's up to you. But guys, let me know if you try this. Also, let me know what your favorite flavor is and if you've done this and if you're going to do this with maybe your kids or your grandkids this summer. I think they would really enjoy it. I will see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.